At pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, Acts 15, 1 to 12. So ang issue po dito ay tungkol po sa council na nangyayari sa Jerusalem or Jerusalem Council. So yan po yung record dito sa Acts 15, 1 to 12. Ang Book of Acts, ito po ay tinatawag na Book of Transition. Bakit kaya tinatawag na Book of Transition? Dahil mayroon kasing program dito sa Book of Acts na nag-transition, yung kingdom program. Mayroong diminishing na nangyayari. Ayan, yung nung ikinomission si Apostle Paul or yung na-convert itong si Pablo na dating Saulo, ay mayroong gradual changes sa kingdom program. Kaya kung hindi pag-aralan ang Book of Acts na mayroong transition, ang tendency po ay nagkakaroon ng confusion. Kaya karamihan po hindi ina-acknowledge yung writings ni Apostle Paul dahil mayroong malaking pagkakaiba doon sa unang presentation, lalo na sa presentation ng ating Panginoon during His earthly ministry, ay mayroong pagkakaiba. Kaya yung iba hindi nila pinaniniwalaan, hindi nila ina-acknowledge yung sulat ni Apostol Pablo na ito'y galing din sa Panginoon, dahil hindi nila pinag-aralan or hindi nila pinaniniwalaan na mayroong panibagong program ang ating Panginoon na inirebel. Ng programang ito ay mystery. Ang programang ito ay mystery before the conversion of Paul. Kaya sa Romans 16:25, now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Jesus Christ according to the revelation of the mystery. So, pag sinasabing according to the revelation of the mystery which was kept secret since the world began. So dito pa lang sa verse, malinaw, makikita natin yung may programa na nakatago or hidden before the world. Idagdag pa natin yung sa Colossians chapter 1, Colossians chapter 1 verse 25 to 27, whereof I am made a minister according to the dispensation of God which is given to me for you to fulfill the word of God, even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints, to whom God would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery. Sa verse 27, among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. So malinaw na mayroong programa ang Panginoon before, hidden, kept secret from generation, from ages and from generation. At kailan po inireveal? Nung na-convert si Pablo na dating Saulo. So talagang talagang mayroong pagkakaiba ikumpara doon sa program since the world. Mayroong program na since the world, from the foundation of the world, and then program before the world. So mayroon pong pagkakaiba itong programa from the foundation of the world in Acts chapter 3 verse 21, whom the heaven must receive until the times of restitutions of all things, which God hath spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began. So mayroon bang pagkakaiba pag sinasabing since the world began at kept secret since the world began, malaki po ang pagkakaiba. So yung since the world began, yan po yung programa na nalaman ng mga propeta at maging yung mga apostol at maging si Jesus Christ nung siya'y nagkatawang tao. Yan po yung earthly program. So nangangaral siya under that program na yung programa na yan ay since the world. Dito sa Matthew 25, kung idagdag natin, 25 verse 34, then shall the king say unto them on this right hand, come ye, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. So, isang programa from the foundation. And then another program kept secret before the foundation. Kumbaga, secret before the world. And then, program since the world. So, anong programa yung ipinapangaral ni Apostol Pablo? Yung programa na kept secret before the world began. At yung ipinangaral ng mga apostol, maging si Jesus Christ, John the Baptist, backward, mga propeta, yan po yung program since the world. Nakuha niyo yung point? So sa Book of Acts, dito po natin mauunawaan yung isang program na na-diminish, mayroong diminishing na nangyari, mayroong program na unti-unting nawala. Yan po yung program since the world. And then nagbukas ang Panginoon ng isang program. Yung programa na yon ay from or before the world began. So isang programa before the world. Yan po yung ibinigay niya kay Pablo. Yan yung kanyang inirevealed kay Apostle Paul. So mayroon na siyang programa, bago palikhain ang sanlibutan, kaso lang ito ay mystery. Ito ay secret, nakatago, at inirevealed kay Pablo. Ngayon, mayroon na bang dispensation of grace bago na-convert si Pablo? Wala. Dahil sa kanya ipinagkatiwala. Ephesians chapter 3, 1-3. For this cause, I, Paul, the prisoner of Jesus Christ for you Gentiles, if ye have heard of the dispensation of the grace of God, which is given me to you word, how that by revelation, ito po verse 3, how that by revelation He made known unto me the mystery. So, ang dispensation of grace ay hidden, secret before the world, and now revealed to and through Paul. Sa kanya lang. Kaya ang good news, tayo ay naging parte ng programang ito. Bakit po naging parte po tayo sa programang ito? Yes, dahil si Pablo ang apostol natin. Siyang apostol ng mga Hintil ayon sa Romans chapter 11. Romans chapter 11 verse 13, for I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. Siya ang apostol ng mga Hintil. hindi tayo kabilang sa mga 12 tribo ng Israel. Ibig sabihin, ang apostol natin ay si Apostol Pablo, hindi yung mga 12 apostol, na ang 12 apostol ay representative ng 12 tribo ng Israel. So ano ang magiging ministry ng mga apostles pag ang Panginoon ay naghahari? Sa Mateo 19:28, Mateo 19:28, and Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the generations, when the sons of man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So yun yung magiging ministry ng mga apostles, yung 12 apostles pag naghahari ang Panginoon. Kasama ba si Apostol Pablo sa upuang ito na mention, yung 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel? Hindi. Siya po ay apostol ng mga Hintel, hindi po siya kasama na magiging judges judging the 12 tribes of Israel, si Apostol Pablo, dahil siya po ay separate apostle para sa mga Hintel. At sa kanya ipinagkatiwala ang dispensation of grace. Sa kanya ipinagkatiwala ang dispensation of grace. Ibig sabihin, walang dispensation of grace na nangyari bago siya na-convert. Ito po ay nanatiling mystery, ito po ay nanatiling nakatago habang hindi pa na-convert yung pinagkatiwalaan. So, dapat bang maunawaan natin ang mga bagay na ito? Yes. Para hindi po magkaroon ng conflict doon sa ministry ng mga 12 apostol at kay Apostol Pablo, at dito nga po yan sa Book of Acts lang natin mauunawaan. So mayroong transitional na nangyayari. During transition, mayroong dalawang program na active, nag-operate, yung Kingdom Program and Grace Program. Dahilan na mayroong Jerusalem Council at mayroon silang inaayos na mga katuruan, mga practices, inaayos during Jerusalem Council kasi nagkaroon ng conflict. Hindi pwedeng magsama yung mga kingdom believers at grace believers, ang mga kingdom apostles at saka grace apostle. Kaya ang agreement, mayroon silang agreement para masettle ang problema dito sa Galatians chapter 2 verses 7 and 8. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me. So the gospel of uncircumcision, the gospel refers to Gentiles. So yun po yung description dito, the gospel of the uncircumcision sa mga Gentiles was committed unto Apostle Paul, and then the gospel of circumcision was committed unto Peter. So dito pa lang ay mayroon ng agreement ang mga apostol at si Apostol Pablo. And then verse 8, for he that rose effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles. So malinaw na dito pa lang ay nagkaroon sila ng agreement para masettle yung problem na ang mga 12 apostol, doon sila mag-focus sa mga Israelites. At si Apostol Pablo naman, kung kanino siya ikinomission, kung ano yung marching order na kanyang tinanggap, doon din siya. Ganun po, at ito'y nangyari sa Jerusalem Council. Kaya Acts 15, 1-12, ang issue dito, the council at Jerusalem and then the dispute at Antioch. Acts 15, 1-3, and certain men which came down from Judea taught the brethren, and said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved. Ano po yung sinasabi yung certain men from Judea? Anong sabi nila sa mga kapatiran? Ini-introduce nila, ini-encourage nila yung mga believers na magpa-circumcise dahil kung hindi nila gagawin, sila'y hindi maliligtas. Ibig sabihin, no salvation, walang kaligtasan kung walang circumcision. So ayon dito sa na-mention, may mga tao from Judea, probably sila'y mga high priest or mga religious leaders, at kanila pa rin pinapractice na kailangan ang circumcision ay bahagi ng kaligtasan. When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem and to the apostles and elders about this question. So ibig sabihin, yung mga nasa Jerusalem Council ay marami po na mga umaten. May mga elders, apostles, at yung iba pa doon sa Jerusalem Council. And being brought on their way by the church, they pass through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversions of the Gentiles, and they cause great joy unto all the brethren. Kaso lang ay nire-record yung pati yung mga Gentiles ay nire-record din nila na mag-circumcise para maligtas. Gusto pa rin nila na ang mga Hintel ay gagawin din yung ginagawa ng mga Hudyo ayon sa kautusan ni Moses. So yun yung isa din sa mga issue during Jerusalem Council. And we come now to the record of the first great controversy between the followers of Christ, the inevitable clash between the believers at Jerusalem and Antioch. So dito po, mga believers lahat kasi ang issue dito na kailangang magkaroon ng kaayusan. Yan, Jerusalem sa believers at Jerusalem at believers at Antioch. How it was used of God to settle once and for all the questions of Paul's authority as the apostle of the new dispensation. Peter's report to the brethren at Jerusalem. So ito naman yung sinabi ni Pedro at Jerusalem regarding the conversion of Cornelius and his household had not lose the matter. At the time, Peter's explanation had seemed to satisfy them, and they had at least healed their peace and glorified God, saying, Then hath God also to the Gentiles granted repentance unto life. It was mentioned in Acts 11:18, but that had been some considerable time previous in Acts 15:7, and some had now begun to harbor doubts as to the status of such Gentiles. Had Cornelius and his household done right in remaining in uncircumcision, or was there's an exceptional case? Who had any right to abrogate the law which God himself had established? Furthermore, the law given to Israel. Yun yung isa sa mga in-insist during the Jerusalem Council, yung law of Moses, pero here, na-mention, it was given to Israel and had declared the principle and enforced the practice of national isolation. Was it right now for Jews to consider uncircumcised men as the people of God with them, even though they abandoned idolatry, worship Christ, and showed this in their conduct? So parang yun yung isa sa mga dilemma, isa sa mga problem, papaano itong mga Gentiles, so nga na tinalikuran nga nila yung pagiging idolatry, pero hindi naman sila nagpa-circumcise. So isa sa mga gusto nilang gagawin ng mga Gentiles, aside from na sila tumalikod sa pagiging idolater, ay dapat sila'y magpa-circumcise. Ang circumcision ay practice, ay law under the time of Moses, and then pinapractice ng mga Israelites, at gusto din nila na itong mga Gentiles na naniniwala ay ni-require din nila na mag-circumcise katulad nila. So ganun po yung mga ilan sa mga issue that time na kailangang ayusin. At alam naman natin, alam natin na ang mga Gentiles ay na-convert under the grace program. Siyempre, ang mga apostles that time, even yung mga elders, yung mga religious leaders that time, hindi nila alam na mayroong transition na nangyayari. Hindi nila alam na may transition na nangyayari. Probably Peter knew na mayroong transition dahil siya'y nakausap. Okay, siya'y nakausap ng Panginoon through vision, na mayroong tinatawag na special commission na kanyang na-experience. So probably na naunawaan niya, pero yung iba hindi. Gusto nila na ang mga Gentiles ay magpa-circumcise din katulad ng kanilang practice. These and other such questions would naturally trouble some, for while Peter had indeed been sent to one household of Gentiles and had witnessed the evidence of their salvation, and he could only explain that he had been commanded to go, nothing doubting, adding, "And what was I that I could withstand God? Nor had any revelation as yet been given to them that the law, the middle wall of partition, had been abolished by the cross." These misgivings of these Judean believers were doubtless aggravated by the fact that great numbers of the Gentiles were now being won to Christ under the ministry of Paul and Barnabas, and who were establishing churches among them in which neither circumcision nor the Mosaic law had any place. Hindi nila hindi nila naunawaan na wala na yung wall of partition. Parang ang dating, ito yung senaryo parang ang nangyayari nung naghaharap sila doon sa Jerusalem Council, ang ibang mga Hudyo, yung mga religious leaders, mga apostles that time, mga elders, ay ang alam pa rin nila ay nandun pa rin yung law of Moses. Ang alam pa rin nila, nandun pa rin yung wall of partition. Di ba? So, syempre naman, kung ganun yung kanilang assumption, speculation, ay talagang ganun ang kanilang gagawin na dapat i-required itong mga Gentile believers na magpa-circumcise under the law of Moses. Yun yung kanilang pagkakaalam. Hindi nila alam na itong mga Gentiles, ang daming Gentiles na convert sa pamagitan ni Apostol Pablo, sila'y na-convert by the grace of God. At sa ministry ni Apostle Paul, wala na yung wall of partition, na-remove na po yung wall of partition. Ephesians chapter 2, 14, 15. Verse 14, for he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of twain one human, so making peace. He hath broken down the middle wall of partition. Ano yan? Yung wall of partition na inabolish niya, the law of commandments contained in ordinances. Wala na po yun. Ang Israel and Gentiles pinagsama, pinag-isa during the time of Paul. Alam ba ng mga 12 apostol na ganun po ang nangyari sa programa? Alam ba ng mga elders sa Jerusalem, Judea? Yung mga religious leaders na ganun pong nangyari, hindi po nila alam yun. Kaya nga ganun ang nangyari, nagkaroon ng Jerusalem Council dahil hindi malinaw sa kanila, dahil yung si Pablo ay nangangaral ay iba doon sa kanilang pangangaral. Kaya nga si Apostol Pablo at saka yung mga kasama niya inuusig, pinipersecute din sila nung pumunta sila sa synagogue at nangaral. Sila'y pinersecute, kaya nga napunta sila sa iba't ibang lugar din, from Antioch punta ng Derbe, Lystra at yung sa iba pang mga lugar, dahil ni-reject sila nung kanilang napakinggan ang ipinapangaral ni Apostol Pablo, ay hindi nila tanggap. Kaya dahilan na si Apostol Pablo at yung kasama niya sa ministry ay palipat-lipat sila ng lugar para lang ipangaral ang gospel of grace, particular sa mga Gentiles. At ganun nga dito sa Jerusalem Council. Para masital yung issue, para mawala yung confusion, ganun po yung napag-usapan. So, mayroong dalawang program na nag-operate during transitional period. Pero after Acts 28, isang programa na lang po. After Acts 28, after the transitional period, isang programa na lang ang nag-operate. Anong programa po ang nag-operate? The Grace Program. Okay? Grace Program na ang nag-operate ngayon, Dispensation of Grace. Hindi na po yung Kingdom Program. Nag-stop temporary ang Kingdom Program after Acts 28, kaya kinunclude na lang. Kinunclude dito sa Acts 28:28, be it known therefore unto you that the salvation of God is sent unto the Gentiles. So totally, ang salvation ay sa mga Hintil. That the salvation of God is sent unto the Gentiles. Inayawan ng mga Israelites, tinanggihan ng mga Israelites yung pangangaral. Kaya sa Acts 28 ito ay kinunclude na that the salvation of God is sent unto the Gentiles. Ganon po ang nangyayari. Kaya ang kaligtasan, lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon, ay nakatuon sa atin, mga hintel. During the Jerusalem Council, isa ang mga issue na pinag-uusapan that time, yung circumcision, isa yun sa mga na-mention during that time, na gusto nila susundin kung ano yung nakasaad doon sa kautusan na ibinigay ng Panginoon kay Moses. Pero siyempre, hindi yan gagawin ni Apostol Pablo. I-allow niya yung mga Gentile converts during his ministry na, o sige, kayo'y magpa-circumcise. Pero bakit hindi niya ginawa? Dahil alam niya na ang salvation ay hindi sa pamamagitan ng law of Moses. Isa din sa sinasabi niya sa Romans 6:14, "For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace." Alam ni Apostle Paul. Kaya hindi niya ni-required ang mga hintel na maging katulad ng mga Israelites, dahil siya mismo alam niya salvation ay totally by the grace of God, not by following, observing, or keeping the whole law. Hindi po yun. So, para masitel, ang ginawa na lang nila, nag-usap. Nagkaroon ng agreement na kung kanino sila dapat mag-ministry, sa anong group of people sila dapat. Kaya doon sa Galatians chapter 2, 7 and 8, ang agreement, sige, ang mga apostles, doon kayo sa mga Israel. Si Apostol Pablo, doon sa mga hintel. Ganun po yung solusyon. Finally, there were some who could contain themselves no longer, taking it upon themselves to travel to Antioch and set the converts there straight. It should be noted that with them, it was not merely a matter of fellowship. Evidently, they were genuinely concerned about the salvation of these Gentiles. For they began teaching them, "Except ye be circumcised." Diba? Yun yung isa sa mga pinag-uusapan, ay yung kaligtasan ng mga hintel. Ito yung sabi, "Except ye be circumcised after the manner or custom of Moses, ye cannot be saved." They were not looking upon circumcision merely as a sign of the Abrahamic covenant, but as that which had been commanded by Moses, the principal rite of Judaism, indispensable to the rights and privileges of membership in the favored nation, and therefore necessary to salvation. Nakuha niyo yung issue na talagang ini-insist nila na dapat talagang pa-circumcise itong mga hintel. Kung gusto talaga nilang kung gusto nilang maligtas ang mga hintel, ay dapat sila ay mag-circumcise ayon sa custom, ayon sa law of Moses. But with all their evident sincerity in this matter, they were wrong, for they had undertaken this mission without due authority, and as it turned out, unsettled matters at Antioch instead of settling them after the matter was finally settled at Jerusalem. Kumbaga, mayroon na pala doon, mayroon ng issue doon sa Antioch. At finally, doon sa Jerusalem na settled. The church there wrote to the Gentiles regarding this brethren in Acts 15:24, certain which went out from us have troubled you with words, subverting your souls, saying, Ye must be circumcised and keep the law, to whom we gave no such commandment. In Galatians 5:3, and it was indeed the basic ceremonial requirements of the law, and that which separated them from the Gentiles as the people of God. Diba? Na-mention din yan sa John 7:22 in Leviticus 12:2 and 3. So, malinaw po na ang circumcision, itong mga ni-required na kung ano-ano ay sa mga Israels po. Dahil yun po ang isa sa covenant ng Panginoon sa mga Israelites. Pero pilit nila na ang mga Gentiles that time ay gusto nila na ang Hintil din ay sumunod doon sa Law of Moses. Yun yung mga issue that time. Pero nakakalungkot sa time ngayon, no, ay gusto nilang gawin yung Law of Moses, yung mga believers sa panahon ngayon. Kung mapapansin nyo, gusto nilang kunin ang mga katuruan na kay Moses o mga katuruan para sa Israel. Pero during that time, nung nag-ministry si Apostle Paul, malinaw po, inaayos po yan na hindi nga pwede. Okay? Kahit gusto ng mga kingdom believers na kung ang mga Gentiles din magpa-circumcise, gagawin yung mga rituals ayon sa Law of Moses. Nakita niyo yung kaibahan sa panahon ngayon. Gusto nilang magpaka-Israel. Yung mga Hintil ngayon na mga nagkiklaim na mga believers, gusto nilang gagawin yung ginagawa ng Israel. Pero sa time ni Apostle Paul, sa time nila, inaayos, nagkaroon sila ng discussion sa Antioch and then Jerusalem na hindi. Ang mga Gentiles ay hindi sila sakop or saklaw ng kautusan para sa mga Israel. Yan yung makita natin. Bakit sa panahon ngayon gusto nila yung turo ng para sa Israel? Sa time ni Apostle Paul, ipinapaliwanag na hindi, yun yung para sa Israel. Ang mga Gentiles ay iba, pero gusto ng mga Israelites, yung mga religious leaders, na ni-require nila ng mga Israel ay magpa-circumcise din. So, hindi nila alam yung talagang nangyayari ang mga apostles. Kung ano yung talagang katuruan, hindi nila alam na mayroong new program ang Panginoon na binuksan para sa lahat. At si Apostol Pablo ay pinili para sa mga Gentiles. Years later, when Judaizers sought to impose circumcision, tignan niya, Judaizers, sila po yung mga nag-impose ng circumcision and the law upon the Galatians, and Paul wrote almost the same thing about them. Galatians 1:7. There be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Christ. Sino sila? Yung mga under doon sa mga Judaizers. Yung mga kingdom believers. So sila yung isa sa mga pinagsabihan na mayroong ilan na naghasik ng trouble, and then ang ginagawa, pervert, binabago nila yung gospel, yung ebanghelyo. while some Bible teachers whom we highly respect hold that these Judaizers preach spurious gospel, and we do not concur in this idea, for then the apostle would doubtless have said in Galatians 1:6-7, I marvel that ye are so soon removed unto another gospel which is not another, or which is not a gospel at all, or which is not even a gospel. What he did say was, which is not another. Now, it is true that the another of in verse 6, heteros, is said by Theer and others to mean another of a different kind, while the another of verse 7, alus, is said to mean another of the same kind, the former expressing difference and the latter addition. Yet some of our best Greek scholars seem to hesitate here, and some even give cause to suspect that their interpretation has been strongly influenced by theological background. Okay, kung familiar kayo sa isang expository dictionary, yung Vine, ayan, doon yung makikita yun, yung ibig sabihin ayon sa kanilang paliwanag. Okay, the distinction is to be observed in numerous passages. Ayan, si Vincent, in his word studies, different gospel is not another gospel, there is but one gospel. So, yan yung, ito yung mga theological, theological paliwanag. Kasi hindi nila matumbok yung sinasabing another, which is not another, doon sa Galatians. Hindi nila nakuha yung the whole context doon, kaya gusto nilang pag-isahin na wala talagang iba pang gospel kundi isa lang gospel. So gumagamit sila ng mga theological term to settle, pero yun nga, applying right division ay ito'y tumutukoy sa previous na gospel or kingdom gospel na tinatawag ni Apostle Paul, kasi mayroong tinanggap si Apostol Pablo na ibanghilyo na iba doon sa tinanggap ng mga apostol. Kaya nga doon sa chapter 1 sa chapter 2 pa lang malinaw na mayroong gospel for the circumcision and gospel for the uncircumcision. So ibig sabihin mayroong ang isa doon another gospel na yon. Pero syempre itong mga theologian na hindi tawag doon, hindi nila alam ang right division, so gusto nilang gagamitan ng mga terminology na pag-isahin nila, pagsamahin nila. So, ganun po ang isa sa mga ginagawa. Okay? So, had the agreement in Galatians 2:9 been made during the visits of Acts 11:18 prior to the Council of Acts 15, it would surely have been appealed to. In fact, the Council of Acts 15 would then have been unnecessary. So the arguments against the visit of Acts 18:22 being identical with the Galatians 2 are as follows. The interval between the visits of Acts 9:27 and Acts 18:22 is doubtless considerably more than 14 years. So mayroong gap, and it is not likely that the questions of the circumcision of Gentiles would have been raised again after the written decisions of the Council of Acts 15. If it had been the previous decisions of the Acts 15, Council would surely have been appealed to. For these reasons, and because of the general similarity of the accounts of Acts 15, Galatians 2, we believe they refer to the same visit. So the main objection raised against this view is that in Galatians 1:18 to chapter 2 verse 1, Paul himself solemnly declares that after his visit with Peter, 3 years after his conversion, okay, may time na nakita sila Pedro at saka si Pablo 3 years after his conversion, and he had not gone up to Jerusalem to see the apostles again until 14 years after. But this difficulty is not insurmountable, for the apostles' argument in Galatians is not that he had been to Jerusalem so seldom, but that he had been in contact with the apostles so seldom, and therefore could not have gotten his teaching from them. His omissions of the visits of Acts 11:30 in the Galatians passage is evidently because he saw none of the apostles at the time, and does not indicate he wants of candor. According to kay isang tilod dyan sa kanyang yung sa notes niya, page 123, 126. But thus, descending Paul to the apostles and elders at Jerusalem to settle this matter. So, yun po yung dito, yung pinaka inaayos dito, yung Jerusalem Council. Okay, yung Jerusalem Council, yung nagkakaroon ng hindi pagkakaunawaan, lalo na doon sa mga ipinapangaral. And this was not the first such case, for at his first visit to Jerusalem after his conversion, his life had been in such danger that the brethren took him in hand and sent him forth to Tarsus, Acts 9:30. But in Acts 22:17-18, the apostle explains how on that same visit, while praying in the temple, he was in a trance, and I saw him cry, saying unto me, Make haste and get thee quickly out of Jerusalem, for they will not receive thy testimony concerning me. So isa yan sa sinabi ng Panginoon kay Pablo. Sabi niya, quickly out of Jerusalem, get thee quickly out of Jerusalem. Pero yung mga apostles, ang kaiban, sila inutusan sa Jerusalem lang, wag silang lumabas muna sa Jerusalem. Okay, pero itong si Apostle Paul, ang ministry niya outside sa Jerusalem. Okay? So, thus on these two occasions, he was sent first from Jerusalem and then to Jerusalem by both the brethren and the Lord. And the relations of these two visits is significant too. On the former occasion, he was sent from Jerusalem by the brethren for his physical safety, but by the Lord because Israel was being concluded in unbelief in Acts 22:18. And on the second occasion, he was sent to Jerusalem by the brethren to settle a trouble, some controversy regarding circumcision. Ito yung yung sa Jerusalem Council nga. Ayan, ito yung isa pa na visit sa Jerusalem to settle doon sa problem regarding circumcision, na yun nga yung na-mention natin ay gusto din nila na ang mga Gentiles ay gagawin din ang circumcision ayon sa kautusan ni Moses. And Paul had full authority from the Lord entirely apart from the 12. Isa din natandaan natin, ang authority ng ni Apostle Paul ay hindi katulad ng mga dusing apostol. Iba ang kanyang authority dahil iba ang kanyang tinanggap na marching order, iba din ang tinanggap ng mga dusing apostol. He had been saved and ordained as an apostle on the road to Damascus. Far from Jerusalem. Nakuha niyo po, ang kanyang ordination ay hindi sa Jerusalem, doon sa road to Damascus. Unlike the 12 apostles were ordained or called doon sa Jerusalem, kung ikumpara natin yung kay Apostle Paul, hindi sa Jerusalem, outside Jerusalem, doon sa road to Damascus. So he had been sent on his first great apostolic journey from Syrian Antioch, itong si Pablo. And then entirely apart from the 12. Yes. Talagang magkahiwalay ang kanilang misyon. Nung na-convert si Pablo doon sa road to Damascus, and he was sent first ay yung kanyang great missionary journey doon sa Syrian Antioch, na walang kinalaman doon sa 12, sa mga 12 apostol. Already he had been used to turn great numbers of Gentiles to the Lord, never once needing to look to the apostles at Jerusalem for directions or authority. Di ba? Kung ganun po, hahanapin yung mga apostles kung doon sa Jerusalem. Pero dito po ay totally ang kanyang ministry, kanyang mission separate doon sa mga 12 apostles, at ang kanyang authority hindi nanggagaling sa mga 12 apostol. Ang kanyang authority ay galing mismo sa Panginoon. Meron nga siyang sinabi sa Galatians chapter 1:11 and 12. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ. Kaya yung kanyang ministry at ang kanyang authority ay hindi nanggagaling doon sa mga 12 o nakadepende sa mga 12 apostol, kundi ito ay mismong galing sa Panginoon. Ang Panginoon mismong ang nag-commission sa kanya, kaya siya po ay separate sa mga 12 apostol. Okay? Siya po ay separate doon sa mga 12 apostol. Hindi niya kasama ang 12 apostol para ipangaral yung kanyang tinanggap na mensahe. At the same time, yung mga natutunan niya sa mga 12 apostol, hindi po. So the reason he was now sent to Jerusalem by the Lord was not for his sake, but for their sakes, and for the sake of the program now being launched. Yan po yung purpose noon. Kaya pumunta siya ulit sa Jerusalem, and then mayroon lang aayusin. Okay? Mayroon lang aayusin. Hindi para sa kanila o sa kanya, kundi para doon sa bagong programa. So it must be remembered that the apostles at Jerusalem had first sent to all the world and all nations in Matthew 28:19, Mark 16:15. It was their hope and expectations that Israel would receive Christ, the risen King, and that so salvation and blessing might flow from Israel to Gentiles. Yun naman talaga ang mission, originally ang mission. Pag ang Israel na convert lahat, sila po ay magiging blessing sa mga Gentiles. Yun po yung Abrahamic covenant Genesis chapter 12, 1-3. Genesis chapter 17, 1-5. Sila po, ang mga Israel, sila po yung channel of blessing. Kaya, nung inutusan sila ng mga apostol na mangaral sa lahat ng bansa, at mag-start muna sila sa Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, to the uttermost part of the earth, dahil ito po'y connected or in relation doon sa Abrahamic Covenant na pag na-convert ang buong Israel, sila matupad na po yung covenant na yon na sila'y magiging channel of blessing, sila'y maging blessing doon sa mga Gentiles. But Israel had rejected her king and the long promised times of refreshing. Ganun po ang nangyayari. Yung long-awaited king, ano pong ginawa ng mga Israelites? Nireject naman nila. At saka yung long promised times of refreshing, hindi nila ma-experience. Kailan na nila ma-experience? Sa millennium. Sa millennial reign ng ating Panginoon, doon na nila ma-experience yun at maging channel of blessing ang mga Israelites doon sa mga Gentiles sa millennium. Naturally, this affected the Great Commissions to the 11 under this new program. Paul, not the apostles at Jerusalem, was to become the apostle to all nations and all the world, and the apostles at Jerusalem were henceforth to confine their ministry to those of the circumcision, and Paul fully understood this, but they must understand and recognize it fully too, so that they might not be working at cross purposes. Furthermore, under this new dispensation, the middle wall of separation between Jew and Gentiles was to be gradually broken down. Ano po yan? Yung middle wall of partition na mention sa Ephesians chapter 2, 14, 15, sa transition, during transition, unti-unti pong nawala o yung mayroong gradual na nangyayari. Yung wall of partition ay nawala. Yun. Kaya sa mapansin nyo, during transition, may mga nagpa-practice pa, di ba? May mga gradual changes na nangyari at hanggang totally nawala yung wall of partition. So, and it was therefore necessary that the Jewish believers recognize the Gentile believers as their brethren in Christ. Now, ito po isa sa transition na ito nangyayari. Ni-recognize, pero noon before the conversion of Saul, of Paul, ay iba ang prinsipyo ng mga Israelites. Ayaw nila, pero later on, naunawaan na nila yung mga Gentile converts at ina-acknowledge na ng mga Israelites later on. And this was still but the beginning. Of course, they could not yet comprehend their complete oneness in Christ, but before long, they were to recognize each other for what they truly were. One body in Christ, and everyone members one of another, according to Romans chapter 12, verse 5, and 1 Corinthians 1:2, and 1 Corinthians 12:13. Dahil sa one body in Christ, composed of Jews and Gentiles, believing Jews and believing Gentiles. Ano po ang tawag? One body. Members of one another, or one of another. So this all in addition to the fact that it must be settled once and for all that at least the Gentiles must not be made subject to the law of Moses. Again, this was but a beginning, for the council at Jerusalem did not even consider the question whether or not the Jewish believers were to remain under the law, or they assumed that they were, for no revelation had as yet been given by God to the effect that they were to be freed from it. As late as Acts 21:20, they were still all zealous of the law. Sino po yung mga Israelites? So sa puntong ito ay mauunawaan nila na ang mga Gentiles ay hindi bahagi doon sa circumcision na ginagawa ng mga Israelites. So actually yung pinaka main that time during the Jerusalem Council, yung regarding sa circumcision, ang mga Gentiles ay mag-circumcise din ayon sa kautusan ni Moses. Thus, with the raising up of Paul and his early ministry among the Gentiles, we have the gradual transitions from the old dispensations to the new. Ano po yung old dispensation na tinatawag? Ano yung old dispensation and then going to the new dispensation? Ayun po yung yung sa dispensation of law under the kingdom program, and then to the new program. So God does not reveal everything at once. Tandaan po natin hindi po minsanan yung kanyang pagbigay ng revelation. So mayroon pong tinatawag na gradual or progressive. Okay? Progressive. So mayroon pong progressive na nangyari. Not nor start churches among the Gentiles which remain unrelated to the believers at Jerusalem. So the Jerusalem saints are expected to recognize the change in program, to move on with it, and to enjoy their oneness with the Gentile saints. So doon maano nila yun, maunawaan or ma-observe nila yun na ang mga Jerusalem saints ay malaman nila na mayroong changes na nangyayari. Sila mismo malaman nila na mayroong changes na nangyayari. So and those who accompanied Paul on this journey to Jerusalem, only two names are mentioned. Sino po? Si Barnabas sa Acts 15:2 at si Titus sa Galatians 2:1. So the choice of these two could hardly have been more appropriate, for Barnabas had originally belonged to the company at Jerusalem and was a Levite by birth, while Titus was an uncircumcised Greek, sa isang Gentile, with these two and some others besides the apostle left for Jerusalem. So na-mention itong si Barnabas na kasama niya sa Jerusalem and si Titus. Barnabas ay isa siyang Israelite at si Titus isa siyang Gentile. Ayan. So Gentile na convert, at si Barnabas dating kingdom. So dating kingdom believer, and then nakasama ni Apostle Paul during his missionary journey. Years later, Paul wrote, "From prison to the Philippians, like a soldier guarding a most precious treasure." Dito sa Philippians 1:17, I am set for the defense of the gospel. Ayan. So yun yung isa sa doon, sinasabi niya, I am set for the defense of the gospel. Always he had stood faithfully to defend the purity of that good news. Ang ganda ng at talagang walang compromise. Tayo ba ay mayroong ganong klaseng kakayanan na kahit anong mangyari, depensahan natin yung naunawaan natin na ebanghelyo, kaya nating panindigan, hindi dapat ma-compromise, mahaluan kahit anong mangyari. Dapat ganun, no? Yung ating character nung naunawaan natin ang grace message? Ano ba yung gospel? Ano ba yung gospel na dapat nating dipinsahan? Ano ba yung gospel na dapat nating ipangaral? He had stood faithfully to defend the purity of the good news which had been committed to him, the gospel of the grace of God. Di ba? Ganon. Meron tayo, katulad ni Apostle Paul, ang we are part doon sa commission. So we are committed din po sa gospel of the grace of God. So we are part. So pasalamat tayo sa Panginoon. So isa yan sa mga yung dinidipinsahan din ni Apostle Paul. Okay, yung sa ebanghelyo na itong mga mostly ang kanyang mga kalaban na nagtutrouble sa kanya, yung mga Judaizers. Pero hindi po nabago ang kanyang pagtuturo, ang kanyang pananaw, hindi siya nakipag-compromise, kundi kanyang pinandigan, ipinangaral kahit anong mangyari. Ngayon, Paul and his party arrived at Jerusalem sa Acts 15:4-5, and when they were come to Jerusalem, they were received of the church and of the apostles and elders, and they declared all things that God had done with them. But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees, which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise. Ito na naman yung mga sinasabi ng religious sect, yung mga Pharisees. Gusto nilang talaga yung in-implement na mga hintel ay mag-circumcise. So, as Paul and his company had been brought on their way by the church at Antioch, so now they were received by the church at Jerusalem, and Paul's 2 previous visit to Jerusalem had been brief and accompanied by considerable danger. At his first visit after his conversion, the disciples had distrusted him, and the Grecians had plotted his death, so that it had become necessary for him to leave the city in Acts 9:26-30. Pangalawa, his second visit was made at the time when Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, killing James the brother of John and imprisoning Peter with a view to delivering him to death after Passover. Sa Acts 11:30, Acts 12 2:4 and then 25. And that time Paul evidently did not even see any of the 12 apostles. So wala. But now things were different at Jerusalem. Messiah's followers in the city were multiplying again. So ganun po nung sa time na ito, and many having also returned from the places where they had been scattered in the great persecution sa Acts 8:1. So di ba na-scattered sila and then later on bumalik, and seems no longer to fear the unbelieving leaders, even planning to hold their own council right in the same city. Also the genuineness of Paul's conversion to Christ was no longer questioned. Hindi na. Kasi pang na ito, ilang basic. Nung una, pangalawa, yun, ay pwede na kine-question, but later on, hindi na kine-question yung kanyang pagiging apostle or yung kanyang conversion. Whatever objections some may have had to his ministry, he was recognized and heartily welcomed by the church. Diba na may warm welcome sa kanya po. Tinanggap na siya na isang believer, hindi na katulad noon na bilang persecutor. It must not be supposed that the apostle and his party simply appeared on the scene, that the council was called and the question regarding the Gentiles discussed and settled. So important a matter could not be disposed of so simply. There were at least 2, probably 3, and perhaps even 4 separate meetings. So in the epistle to the Galatians, Paul explains that private preliminary conference was first held with them, which were of reputation, according to dito sa chapter 2 verse 2. And it is possible that Acts 15, 4 and 5 does not refer to a meeting of the church, but the phraseology of the passage, together with the fact that it would not have been much of a welcome by the church had it not been public, lead us to believe that it was a public meeting, and that after this the Pharisees rose to object, and the apostles and elders then met to consider the matter in verse number 6. So the meeting of the apostles and elders would then be the third meeting na po. Yung nandun sila, yung mga apostles, di ba, mga elders at yung iba pa, yun ay third meeting, followed by a fourth attended by all the multitude, the apostles and elders with the whole church, doon sa verse 12 to 22. So maraming ganun po na mga pangyayari para masettle lang, kaya kailangan talaga na mayroong meeting na gagawin. So Apostle Paul, while deeply conscious of his divine call and commission, and determined to yield nothing that was essential, yet acted with that prudence and consideration which always characterized him. Thus we find him explaining in his letter to the Galatians that he had first met privately with those of reputation to communicate to them personally that gospel which he preached among the Gentiles. Diba? Dun sa Galatians 2 verse 2. Isa yun sa mga dinipinsan din ni Apostle Paul, yung gospel. Yung kanyang ipinapangaral. Maraming bagay na dinipinsan. Yung kanyang apostleship, dinipinsan niya. At saka yung gospel, dinipinsan niya din yung mga Gentiles na hindi kailangan na mag-undergo ng circumcision. So, marami po na ano. So, kung ano yung tinanggap niya ay kanyang pinanindigan. Ganun po yung ginawa ni Apostle Paul during his ministry. And first, the apostle distinctly states that in conference, added nothing to me while he did communicate new truths to them in verse 2 and 6. Second, this truth he calls that gospel which I preach among the Gentiles. Diba? The gospel which I preach among the Gentiles, indicating that it was not the same message which they had preached among the Jews. So magkaiba. Okay? And then third fact, that communicated this gospel first to the leaders, lest he should or had run in vain, indicates clearly that he was endeavoring to make them see it. So, marami na mga talagang na-experience itong si Apostle Paul para lang kanyang madipinsahan. Kaya during the Jerusalem Council at yung iba pang mga meeting na kanyang na-experience ay kanya pong dinipinsahan yung mga questions tungkol sa kanyang ministry. So sa Acts 15 6 to 11, the meeting of the apostle and the elders and the apostles and elders came together to consider of this matter, and when there had been much disputing Peter rose up and said unto them, Men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago God made choice among us that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe. And God, which knoweth the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Ghost, even as he did unto us, and put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith. Now therefore, why tempt ye God to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear? Question na yan. Alam ni Apostle Paul na hindi nga nila kaya, bakit pa ibabalik? Gagawin pa, pabigat yon. But we believe that through the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, we shall be saved. Ipinaliwanag na niya. Doon, yung karap niya, mga elders. At yung iba ba, pinaliwanag niya. So, verse 6 and 7, and this passage are often used by sa mga ibang Protestant groups to prove that the governments of the early church did not rest in the autocracy of a single will, but in the deliberative decisions of those appointed by the choice or the approval of the laity. So ito po yung Muslim ginagamit ng iba, yung mga verse, pero yun po yung mga isolated ay verses to support doon sa kanilang idea. Pero dapat pa rin malaman yung ano ba yung issue, yung context doon bago i-adapt. Pero anyway, yan po ay ginagamit sa ibang mga organization. Pero yan, during the time of Apostle Paul, matindi po yung kanyang defense sa mga elders, mga Judaizers, mga apostles during meeting, lalo na sa Jerusalem Council. So, an examination of this list of those present at the special meeting of the apostles and elders will give us and linking of the difficulties Paul faced as he defended his apostleship and message on the liberty of the Gentiles. So first, so ito po yung issue dito, the message on the liberty of the Gentiles. Defended his apostleship, yun yung ano. And then message the liberty of the Gentiles. First, there were probably all of the 12 apostles except James, the brother of John, who had been killed by Herod. Then there was also James, the brother of Christ, who was an apostle in the secondary sense, but not one of the 12, and he was a strict legalist and stickler for the letter of the law. Baga talagang ano to, yung devoted sa law. It is doubtless for this reason that he came to be called James the Just. And then later on, the Paul's battle, in the early parts of the meeting, there was much disputing. Ayan. So, ito sa ano din, yung palapit na, kumbaga, yung sa meeting nila, mayroong nangyayari, hindi pagkaunawaan, who sought to Judaize the Gentiles, believers, and impose circumcision. Ito nga. So, yun yung pinakapakay nila itong mga Judaizers. Yung mga Judaizers, ang pakay nila ay ang mga hintil ay magpa-circumcise. So, pero ulitin ko po, hindi po nangyayari yan dahil Apostle Paul ay, alam ni Apostle Paul, ang mga Gentile believers, sila na-convert by the grace of God, hindi sa pamagitan ng pag-undergo ng circumcision ayon sa ini-impose ng mga Judaizers tungkol doon sa circumcision. So hindi po 'yan yung solusyon. So ang agreement nila para masettle, maayos na yung problem, ay dapat kung sila'y tinawag para magturo ng mabuting balita doon sa Israel. At si Apostol Pablo naman tinawag na magturo ng mabuting balita doon sa mga Hintil. Kasi hindi yan maaayos kung walang conclusion, hindi makonclude yung meeting na yun kung hanggang doon lang napaikot-ikot lang sila sa mga issue regarding doon, sa mga ordinances, ano mga rituals, ano yung mga dapat na susundin. So hindi matatapos yun. So to conclude doon sa napag-uusapan nila, maghiwalay na lang sila sa ministry. Mga 12 apostol, doon kayo sa mga Israel. Apostol Pablo, doon sa mga Hintil. So settle yung problem doon sa Galatians chapter 2, 7 and 8. Okay po, so yun yung isang mga katotohanan dito sa Acts 15, at marami pa po tayong maunawaan pa dito sa Acts 15, at bukas itutuloy po natin yung iba pang mga issue na nangyayari sa Acts 15. So hanggang dito na lang po mga kapatid ang ating pag-aaral sa gabing ito. Maraming salamat.